During this tutorial, I will demonstrate the difference between free Slack and total Slack. Since we are interested in looking at Slack information, we must view the schedule table, which was shown in the last tutorial. In the schedule table, we can see that there is a column for free Slack and there is a column for total Slack. Let's take a look at purchasing and assembling hardware to get a better grasp on the difference between the two types of Slack. Both activities have 3 days of total Slack, but only assembling hardware shows 3 days of free Slack. What is the difference? Let's take a look at the Gantt chart here. We can see that the relationship between these two activities have created a path of non-critical activities. This means that they actually share 3 days of Slack, otherwise known as total Slack. If purchasing hardware starts later than planned or takes longer than planned, it will delay the start of assembling the hardware. This delay will have to be coordinated with the individual who manages assembling hardware. Not only will this activity be starting later, but total Slack will be reduced. For example, if purchasing hardware takes 1 day longer than planned, 1 day of Slack will be consumed. Not only will assembling the hardware have to start 1 day late, but it will only have 2 days of total Slack left. Only the activities at the end of a chain of activities can have free Slack. This is because this activity can use this Slack without having to coordinate it with the succeeding activities manager. Using our example, if assembling the hardware only had 2 days of total Slack, this Slack would also be free. This activity can use this Slack without it impacting the succeeding activity, and as long as it doesn't use more than 2 days of Slack, the project will not be delayed. Being able to distinguish the difference between free Slack and total Slack is important because only then is one able to determine how much Slack is truly available. If we look at the schedule again, the difference between the two types of Slack is unclear. We might conclude that purchasing hardware has 3 days of Slack and assembling hardware has 3 days of Slack, when in fact the two activities share these 3 days of Slack.